Powers remaining in the states. Quote, people of a state are entitled to all rights which formerly belonged to the king by his prerogative. So when you heard me say, folks, that we were the first people in the world to ever be free, standing in our own right as a king, walking in a divine state of grace on this earth, I wasn't joking. I took it from the law. From the law. And for whom all governments exist and act. The cases cited are just a few of the rulings made by Supreme Court and in the law. The issue of sovereignty, those cases are based on Barron versus Baltimore. Go look it up, folks. Barron versus Baltimore. 7 Peters 243. And then later on by the case Fairbanks versus the United States. 181 United States 283. And the court in all of these cases said this, and I quote, powers denied are not to be implied. They are to be obtained, if at all, from and in the same manner provided by those who originally granted the enumerated powers, but who at the same time denied powers. In 1909, the court in the case Kansas versus Colorado, 206 U.S. 4B, the court clearly recognized the three sovereigns in the United States as the federal government, the state government, and we, the people, under the 10th Amendment. In the Federal Reporter, second series, section, or page 1418, section 752, in our country, the people are sovereign and the government cannot sever its relationship to the people by taking away their citizenship. 387 U.S. at 257, 87 Supreme Court at 1662. The court held that a United States citizen possesses a constitutional right to remain a citizen unless he voluntarily relinquishes that citizenship. In Vance versus Terrazas, 444 U.S. 252 100 Supreme Court 540 62, and a bunch of other numbers. In 1980, the Supreme Court elaborated on the voluntary relinquishment proviso. It rejected the Secretary of State's argument that a citizen loses his citizenship simply by voluntarily performing an act that Congress has designated an expatriating act. The court stated that a person loses his citizenship only if he intends to relinquish his citizenship, whether the intent is expressed in words or is found as a fair inference from proved conduct. In the last analysis, the court said, expatriation depends on the will of the citizen rather than on the will of Congress and its assessment of his conduct. You may wonder what this is all about. Well, folks, it will all come together for you, maybe not tonight, because I'm going to just continue this right on many Wednesdays as it takes. Whistleblowers, well, let's not get carried away here, Bill. Now, you socialists should really like this one because it's going to blow your mind. None of you really understand the law. Right. Right. The word right. Civil rights, folks, are those which have no relation to the establishment, support, or management of government. They consist of the power of acquiring and enjoying property. Now, all you socialists take that and stick it where the sun don't shine. I just love this. Civil rights consist of the power of acquiring and enjoying property, of exercising the parental and marital power, and the like. They are the absolute rights of persons, the right of personal security, the right of personal liberty, and the right to acquire and enjoy property as regulated and protected by law. They are the rights which, according to the fundamental principles of American government, are unalienable. I found that, folks, in the People versus Washington, 1869, 36C, Sections 658 and 662. A civil right is a right given and protected by law, and a person's enjoyment thereof is regulated entirely by law that creates it. Isn't it amazing? Licenses. Or wait a minute, let's go up here. Licenses. Income tax held invalid as occupation tax. General Acts 1923, number 345. Levying a gross income tax on all incomes, including those derived from professions, businesses, and occupations of all kinds, provides an occupation and income tax, and not a privilege tax, and is invalid under the Constitution. Article 10, Section 5. The state having no authority to tax for revenue occupations which are of common right. Does that grab you? Licenses. A constitutional provision defining and limiting the state's taxing power necessarily excludes what is not enumerated, and while the legislation may confer the right on counties and municipalities to tax occupations for legal purposes, it cannot itself tax such occupations for state revenue purposes in view of the Constitution, Article 10, Section 5. This is the law, folks. I'm quoting right out of the law. These are all from court cases. This is all precedents. Gross income tax held as unconstitutional. Acts 1923, number 345, commonly designated as the Riggs Income Tax Law, imposing gross income tax on all persons and corporations, is invalid as violating constitutional Article 10, Section 5, relating to imposition of taxes. Taxation. Income tax held excise tax, not prohibited by Constitution. An income tax is neither a property tax nor a tax on occupations of common right, but is an excise tax, but has no power to declare as a privilege and tax for revenue purposes occupations that are of common right. You're beginning to wake up out there, folks? Huh? I tried to call that guy to get him on this show, and I'm going to play you now what I got.
You've reached the National Coalition of IRS Whistleblowers. Please leave your name, address, phone number, date and time of day, and a brief message, and someone will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much for calling, and wait for the beep.
Now, folks, I made that call during normal business hours. Nobody answers the phone. It's a trap. You leave your name, address, and phone number, and I'm telling you right now, that's all they want. And remember, folks, the information that you've heard on this show tonight is for educational purposes only. Don't try to go out and detach yourself without professional help. You can get in big trouble. Now, if you want to do it, or if you want to find out more about it, I suggest that you do set yourself free. Write to the Pilot Connection, 6333 Pacific Avenue, Suite 334, Stockton, California, 95207. That's the Pilot Connection, 6333 Pacific Avenue, Suite 334, Stockton, California, 95207. Or you can call them at 209-957-5493. That's area code 209-957-5493. We will be continuing this next Wednesday night, and the Wednesday night after that, we're going to go through so many laws and so many things that it'll make your head swim, and you'll find out that the IRS is a criminal organization, and you've been paying a lot of money into their pockets for many years that you didn't have to. And quit listening to these idiots who come on the radio or on TV and tell you that this is a bunch of nonsense. You investigate it for yourself. You check the law yourself. You attend a Pilot Connection seminar, and you will find out for yourself. There are tens of thousands of people who are out of the system now, and you can be one of them. If you'd like to join CAGI, send $45 to me, William Cooper, P.O. Box 3299, Camp Verde, Arizona, 86322. Good night, and God bless each and every one of you.